Hey guys, it's Chase with Dreamedia. We're here in person in Denver at CET with Michael, the power specialist, and we today are looking at bright fault systems. There are usually three main issues you'll run into with power in a home, whether custom integration or not. That's going to be power outage, that could be power surges or dropouts, as well as unclean, unfiltered noise in power. So I want to bring Michael in to discuss how Bright Vault is solving those issues. Hey guys, we're back, and we are your go-to CI dealers in Colorado. Full service, pre-wire to service down the line 10 years into your home, any form of technology you want integrated easily, we're your go-to guys. So again, we're here with CET and Bright Vault, and I'm going to pass it off to Michael to explain how Bright Vault is solving the three main power issues you may encounter.
Thanks. Yeah, and thank you guys for being here. This is awesome. So I'm one of the energy specialists here at CET. All I deal with every day is this problem that we all deal with every day, and that's energy and power. So how do we address, as Chase said, the three issues with power? So the most expensive problem with power that happens the least amount of time, called 2% of all the problem, is power outages. Power outages, when that happens and you work from home, you can have no income. When you have a power outage in a home that you maybe are renting or your vacation home, you're losing out on that really special vacation and all the money that you've invested in that property. So how do we address that? Well, at Bright Vault, we address that with a battery backup system. So think as a generator replacement, right? So here we have 10 kilowatt batteries. There's two on this side of the wall and one more on the other. So our system here is a demo is a 30 kilowatt system. We have an inverter here that converts the AC electricity that's coming in from the grid and converts it to DC, puts it into the batteries, and when the grid goes down, we then can pull that electricity out of the batteries and put it into our building here, continue to run demos, or in your home, continue to run whatever you need. One other component, or a couple other little ones, we also have, in this case, a lumen panel, which is a little contactor panel that allows us to load shed. Load shedding is really key into all of this. We want all the batteries to run as long as possible. You may have or thought about getting a generator. Well, a generator needs to be sized to as much power as you're going to use in your home, as big as the service is, and then we use as much or as little as is needed up to that moment. With a battery system, what we want to do is the right number of batteries, and the way we do that is using contactors. We can shed those non-important, non-critical loads. So loads like a pool pump, something that wouldn't be critical, and then we shed all those other non-critical loads until we're left with maybe a medical fridge or something that's really, really important to you using your home either for, again, work or vacation. The inverters can pass 200 amps each and then have 50 amps of power on backup, which again just speaks to the fact that we don't really need to use all that we think we do when it comes to service size. Service size is just that. It's more about protection, and we are about consumption. So this solves that 2% of the problem. The other components and the other things that we rep and we talk about here is vital for what we call a power plan, fixing those power problems that you were talking about, are one, TVSS, Transient Voltage Surge Suppression. So at the other end of the spectrum, 85% of the power problem in a home is going to be transient voltage surge. Think, although it's not exactly right, it's cold in the wintertime and you feel that little spark come off your finger, or you see some weird issue with some electrical component in your house. Who hasn't had to reboot their router or something like that? These are commonly these little surges that are hitting the microchips and all the things we have all the time. If we can clean that up with a simple device, we rep one from TPD, you can put that on at any point where surge would come into the house or be created in the house. One point where surge happens a lot, HVAC systems, so having a surge suppressor at the HVAC system can limit that. And what this does is it makes all those weird things happen a lot less, and it extends the life of all of your equipment. So less reboots, less CI guys like you coming in your socks to reboot stuff. And again, more time to enjoy or work in your home or your space, whatever it may be.
Yeah, and electronics are really funky. So if you have even just the tiniest dip in power, crazy things start happening to the end user. Like you spoke about a router,
Yeah.
but it really could be any phone. You can have an amplifier start doing weird things. You get random pops, hisses, and stuff that you don't want to deal with as an end user.
Yeah.
So to jump back just a second, with the battery backups, the coolest thing about what you spoke about with load shedding is maybe right when your power goes out, if you're sitting in your movie theater and you're enjoying a movie, that'll stay up. You'll know that power's out in the home, but as power becomes more of a commodity, then we're focusing on keeping your office up, your Wi-Fi up, and like you said, keeping your business operating from home, no matter what's going on outside.
Right.
So I think those were really cool. And two issues, like we run into power outages a good bit up in Summit County, where Zach and I both reside. Like I could have swore Zach's been losing power like every 3 to 4 days, like consistently throughout the day. And we're kind of getting to the point where his UPS just isn't enough to deal with that.
Right.
And this would be the perfect solution for that. So we have dove into voltage fluctuation and power outages. So what's our last issue and solution here?
Well, you just referred to it. So UPSs. So that other problem, we have the surges that come. UPSs handle a sag. So when there isn't quite as much power, voltage should be at about 120. Let's say it goes down to 110. You don't have to know the numbers, but know that it's less. And when that happens, exactly like you said, that's in a way the most detrimental thing for the long-term life of the microchips that exist in everything. Everything we have has microchips, and that's what we're about protecting, right? We have a smart faucet over there. That smart faucet doesn't have power, you can't get water out of that faucet.
Yeah.
And if it gets hit with enough voltage sag, then we're gonna kill that. We're gonna have to replace the entire faucet. So the only thing that can really solve that is one of two items. It's either a UPS, and what that does is it's similar to this. We're converting electricity, AC to DC, and then back from DC to AC. So it's a double online conversion. It's always going through that battery, which is dissimilar from a big system like this. This is bypassing this most of the time.
Yeah.
But that constant conversion is sending a perfectly clean sine wave 120 volts onto the end user, or whatever that load would be. And then the other one is an automatic voltage regulator, a much more simple device. Solid state, essentially a transformer that's transforming that power and making it be 120 volts all the time. But you mentioned that you won't see the problem here when you have these devices, right?
Yeah.
Fundamentally, I think a lot of times in your life, I bet as a CI guy, you're selling pleasure, right?
Yes.
It's, hey, I need a bigger TV, I need a louder speaker, I need that stuff. Well, one, none of that pleasure works without power.
A good power management system, yeah.
Right. The other thing is what we're saying is, what is your power plan? What is your plan for when the power's not going to come? And typically, people are going to probably think, well, I can deal with it. I've dealt with power outages my whole life.
Yeah.
But everything we just set up, you're now working from home. It's more expensive to have those vacation homes, and you have more microchips throughout the home. So if you set a power plan that lets you know that when the power goes out, the power will stay on, right? And then also we're protecting all the investments in your home, from the cooler that's cooling your wine to, again, the medical fridge for your kid, or whatever that is super important to you. But understanding and helping end users understand how important it is to have that plan and really think through how they're going to deal with those issues, I think is key. And that's what we recommend everybody do now, because you mentioned Summit County having more power outages than ever before. The average in America is a 9-hour outage once a year. In Colorado last year, or earlier this year, they tested for the first time an outage before a fire. So it was a bad storm was coming, we knew it was dry weather. We turned the power off for 150,000 people for like 4 days, and there was no fire. So it worked perfectly, which means that even when there isn't a fire, even when there isn't other problems, we're going to be turning the power off more often. And the only way to be truly resilient of all the changes that are coming, all the new technology you're going to get, I mean, you're asked every time, right? Get me the best TV. I don't want to replace it in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
This is future-proofing. This is getting you ready for whatever happens on the grid.
And I think that's super important. So, like typically, any smart home will have some sort of battery backup, some sort of filtering, specifically in the computer rack.
Right.
But no one just has technology in the computer rack now. Everybody's dishwasher, their chairs, every shade that's wired, you know, everything in the house. We're moving to this process where everything has a little computer, has a processor, And really, at the end of the day, you're protecting your investment. The battery backup is a extreme convenience factor. Of course, keeps your Wi-Fi up, keeps you working, but you could have an electrical strike or something and then lose a big portion of your investment, even outside of just your AV pleasures in your home. Right. So we're just thinking, you know, you've invested all that money. How can we protect it now and make sure that your investment is as long lasting as it should be, right, and not destroyed by something as simple as a voltage drop or anything?
Exactly.
So yeah, super exciting stuff, guys.
Yeah, we think we think of it as foundational, like truly foundational, like you would be your home. The best way to think about it is water, right?
Yeah.
We think electricity is like water, which in some ways it is. But if we had dirty water and you were the plumber, you would obviously want to sell me a softener and a filter, and it would be the right thing to do, right? Same thing here. Let's soften and filter that power and then make sure that we never run out of water again, because this is foundational to the home. So it's something to think about on every single project, and the people that are thinking about it the most are the CI guys.
Yeah.
You know, I would leave you with that, you know, we would think that the electricians would be the one that would bring you this message. But again, they're about protection, and you're about consumption. Where are we consuming the power, and how much power are we consuming? And so you're protecting the fancy fixtures that are up here, this, you know, camera equipment, everything. That's what we're protecting, and that's the things that really run people's lives. So the CI guys are the people that you want to talk to, and you can always get a hold of them and us, and we'll help you with any project.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Michael, for that deep dive into why power management, power protection, power filtering is not just a luxury now. In our modern lives, it's becoming a requirement. I love that example. Who wants dirty water coming out of their faucet? So just as every home is skewing more towards electronic and technology forward, this is becoming a requirement, not really a luxury in your investment. So thank you for that deep dive, and I hope you guys enjoyed our look into BrightVault and how it can solve the three main power solutions you'll run into as an end user. We are your go-to custom integrators in Colorado, not only for audiovisual, but all the way to the foundational electronic backbone. So if you're looking for a custom home built right with proper service, reach out to Dreamedia today.